Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
No, for real. No, serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie?
Big Slice.
Big Slice?
Yes, yes.
All right, nigga. They call me Puto, cuz.
Right.
And that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
I think it's a no-brainer as to why when I saw Puerto Flacco saying Uncle Murda crashed out on Tony Yayo, why we would be tapping in to react to that. I usually give a kind of an introduction as to why I find a particular piece of content interesting, but I think this one goes without saying. So with no further ado, let's see what Flacco said.
Industry games during the podcast. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I wanted to let you guys know this video is being sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is an app where you can make money predicting current events. I'll put clicking the link in my description and downloading the app and using code Flacco to get $10 on your first deposit. The entire conflict started when Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda is discussing his Pooh Shiesty and Gucci Mane situation. Now, Uncle Murda is under the assumption that him and Tony Yayo are street dudes who don't condone snitching on any level. So Uncle Murda is going hard on Gucci while he realized that Tony Yayo is still trying to maintain the relationship with Gucci.
Allegedly. But I feel like he's not even supposed to be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Not with a record like FDO out.
Nah. Coney, man. Free Pooh Shiesty, man.
Yeah, free Pooh Shiesty, free Big 30, free all their co-defendants.
Word up, man.
I know, but you know, like I said, are rappers turning into civilians now after a certain amount of money? Because that's what it's seeming like. Rappers are turning into civilians. Business is business. You heard him on the Breakfast Club say Keisha Kior handle all the business. So you already know. Nah.
Are rappers turning into civilians? The word rapper and civilian is synonymous. Being a rapper is a legal job. Now, are gangsters turning into civilians? That's a whole nother conversation.
Okay, so you can handle your business, you don't lose your. You gotta let me. You don't lose your.
I understand. I'm not arguing with that. I'm just explaining to you that if Keisha Kior, his wife, handles all the business, right? She said that on the Breakfast Club, like, yo, he's not mentally stable. I handle all his stuff. Sometimes, you know, medication.
She said all that. He's not mentally stable.
She was saying a lot of stuff on Breakfast Club, right? Let me finish. Because you make me lose my train of thought every time you do that.
I know she said he's mentally stable.
She says anything that gets signed or any business has to go through her.
I understand what Tony Yayo is saying, but from Uncle Murda's perspective, he's seeing this as if Tony Yayo is trying to make an excuse for Gucci. But what like Tony Yayo is saying is like, hey, bro, yo, this man got a wife at home. The wife, you know, has a lot of authority in this relationship and in the business dealings. Like, Gucci is gonna listen to his wife over his homies. Gucci is gonna go with what his wife wants, as we have seen. The wife is damn near his caregiver. So if Gucci told, it's because the wife is in his ear. Understand that. Now, I'm under the perspective of I don't care what the reason was. I think Gucci is 100% justified in telling, right, from the very fact of they wouldn't do this to a white executive. They wouldn't expect a white executive to hold it down. And if you won't expect Leo Cohen to get robbed and not tell the police, then you shouldn't expect Gucci Mane.
Is that a good point? Does Gucci Mane's past is projecting himself as a gangster, catching a body or any of that, hold him to a different standard as any other executive? Because in this position, he was being treated this way as, you know, because of his role as a record exec, not as Gucci the gangster. It wasn't getting at him at a gambling shack in the hood. You realize, is there a difference?
To get robbed and not tell the police at a business meeting with them white folks, man. Cut it out. So Tony Yayo tries to explain the wife angle, but Uncle Murda is getting agitated gradually until he just finally blows up.
You can look that up, Eddie. Any business, any contract has to go through her. You think she's thinking about beef in business? If she handles all of the finances and the paperwork with him doing deals.
Yeah, what do that have to do with this particular incident? She was nowhere around.
Right? Legally. Of course she's going to say, I'm going to put my family over Pooh Shiesty. And you know what? I want my ring back because my ring cost $50,000. That watch costs $100,000. We gonna claim that on
He's
insurance.
supposed to go get it back in blood, man.
I feel you.
Shiesty voice.
He's not. We're not talking about Gucci.
She can't. That situation happened with Gucci. You bringing Keisha in it.
You're not letting
and
me
that's
finish.
cool
You
that
gotta
you
let me
bringing
finish.
Keisha in it. But even though she handled the business, he's the man, yeah.
I understand, but you're
that's
not.
Gucci,
I'm
man.
not. Listen, I'm not arguing with you. You act like I'm siding with what you're saying.
I'm saying that's Gucci.
I'm telling you, Ed. This is what he's not understanding. If his girl is saying he's not stable, he was on medication or whatever. Maybe
so it was revealed. Why does he start talking to the off-air camera personality? Is he also part of the conversation, or is it just a desperation to get somebody to understand where you're coming from?
That he has like a mild case of schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
Okay, there you go, right?
Yeah.
She on paper handles all the business, right? Eden is a civilian. Right? Now, Eden, you're a civilian,
I'm
right?
a civilian, yeah.
Yes, you're a civilian, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're
is the case, he should have no say-so in deciding what a gangster is supposed to do. He shouldn't even be part of the conversation. You don't question civilians about the criteria of gangsterism. That's why the game is so diluted right now.
wife handles all the business because you're something mentally ain't right, and something like this allegedly happens with a robbery and jewelry and, you know, forcing them to sign a contract. She's not thinking about them niggas. She's thinking about her family.
Her name ain't in the paperwork. In these police statements, her name ain't in that paperwork.
I know her name ain't in the paperwork. I'm not blaming her, but what I'm saying is, who do you think is swaying his mind to being a new Gucci if you're a civilian? Oh, no, this is business. We gonna make money off him. That's why he's saying, yo, you went out like a crash dummy. You're still signed to me?
You saying me his wife told him to go in the studio and make that song too? All the things you're saying about his mental state dictates, even in a time like this, even she can't tell this nigga what to do.
I want to be like Birdman and Cash Money.
Even that agitated Uncle Murda that Tony Yayo is like repeating the lyrics to the Gucci song. Uncle Murda, like, bro, you're repeating the lyrics too much, bro. Like, you defended him already, saying he had some type of excuse with the mental illness and the white situation, and now you're repeating the lyrics to the song. Nah, you trying to, hold on, bro. You're not about to leave me on this island alone, bro. So Uncle Murda then just blacked out on Gucci Mane, the people defending Gucci Mane, but the only person, quote unquote, defending Gucci Mane in front of him is Tony Yayo. So that Tony Yayo takes it personally, and they go back and forth. My thing is, this entire situation is silly. I think like during this podcast, they said, yo, like a rapper needs the streets validation to make it. No, he don't. No, a rapper don't need a, listen, in 2026, a rapper don't need a street validation to make it, homie. No. What street validation do Travis Scott got? I'll wait, bro. Like, I'll wait. Now, Drake got the streets because Drake came up in a different era. Drake came up in like, oh, nah, you needed the street validation in 09. In 2026, you don't need no street validation, bro. Yo, what street validation do Ian got? Not one. All right, but Uncle Murda call out Tony Yayo for rapping the Gucci Mane lyrics a little too much, man, because he kind of peeped what Tony was doing. Like, Tony was trying to still call Gucci a rat and keep it street while at the same time trying to maintain the relationship by saying, oh, I like Gucci.
That's what
You're repeating these lyrics too much for me. I don't
think I like the record.
I'm not feeling.
He sound like
Gucci.
a civilian.
But he can't. You can't sound like a civilian after being a gangster for 20-some years because some street happened to you.
Well, my point
That's
is,
what I'm saying. Some street to this
I
nigga.
agree.
Now he want to sound like a civilian, and now niggas want to try to push the narrative on some Keisha.
Who's pushing
him or whoever they try to say Keisha making them do it?
Look.
Nah,
I'm telling you, look, I'm not saying nobody's making them do it.
They get the award for the two podcast co-hosts that resemble the most. These niggas like they got the same mama and daddy. Oh, my mama.
Right? I'm just telling you that in the real world, you have street and you have people that don't care about that.
Yeah.
She's a person that obviously don't care about that. She made him not care about that. That's what I'm saying. Because if his niggas was around, right? If his niggas was around, they would have told him, nah, you can't do that. His niggas obviously ain't around. Because they say 87% of men that have a girlfriend forget about their friends. That nigga ain't got his friends around. She's in his ear saying, duh, 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 duh. So you know the narratives that she's on the Breakfast Club saying, yo, I run this, I run that. I signed the business. He's not mentally straight to do it. There's times where I had to do stuff. He went to the hospital. There's times where I had to sign contracts. I keep it going. She's saying, these niggas, we want our money. There's no narrative. I'm just telling you.
Well, he went and signed them statements. It's looking like they got Pusha.
And I'm not agreeing.
Right
look, and I'm not agreeing with that at all.
He went and laid them vocals down. She ain't laid them vocals down in that studio.
No, she was saying all that.
Exactly. But look, Yayo putting her in the studio though.
The battery in the back.
Them vocals you just spit, all that, whatever he said.
I wasn't
all that. All I'm trying to say is she ain't say those lines. She ain't say those lines. He went in that studio and wrote.
Yayo, these do not sound like thoughts of a predicate felon, sir.
Them lines. She ain't his ghostwriter. So that nigga thought of all that sucker say on them records and said that. That's all I'm saying, brother. Is he did some sucker and even if she got in his head, why you all that? No, I'm just saying because I don't like when suckers happen like that. And I feel bad for
Yo, Hit Dogs is hollering. Uncle Murda ain't say Yayo's name not once, but Yayo, why you yelling? Yo, why you yelling? Yo, why you going off like that? Yo, why you nah, bro. I agree with you. Son. Because Yayo understands what's happening. And if you've ever been a part of a podcast, you know what's happening. You're recognizing something clip worthy is happening, and you don't even want it to be perceived as if Uncle Murda is being a real street dude and he's going off of Tony Yayo for defending Gucci. Yayo understands that if he don't steps in right now and say, hey, bruh, I agree with you, what you doing, that's going to be a title. But Yayo tries his hardest, man, to come.
Look like it might be too late. They didn't have too many rounds back and forth where Yayo allowed it to appear as if he was defending Gucci.
Like talk Murda from off the rant and from off the cliff. Eventually, Murda tells him, nah, stop trying to interrupt me. Let me crash. But Yayo don't want this Murda rant to keep going because he understands when this get clipped up, it's going to be presented as if Uncle Murda, the real street dude, is crashing out on Tony Yayo for playing industry games and defending Gucci. Even when Yayo said, yo, like...
When Tony Yayo is the person that's been to prison multiple times, I'm not sure if Uncle Murda has been multiple times or at all.
Why you saying it like I like the record or something? Because you do like the record. You kept on repeating the lyrics. You kept on quoting it. You rock... If you like the Gucci song, it's okay to rap it, bro. Gucci ain't do nothing wrong. Gucci ain't do a goddamn thing wrong, bro. And Yayo, what's great to that? Yayo don't even... Yayo, your position and your perspective, like your true perspective, the majority of people agree with you. The majority of people don't agree that somebody that gets robbed at a business meeting should keep it street and get it back in blood. Murder is an anomaly. The street dudes is an anomaly. But Yayo, I guess he's still subject to the street rules, so he still wants that validation. So he's terrified and scared that when this clip go viral, street dudes will look at him crazy for defending Gucci.
Who Shiesty and Big 30 and all them niggas and all them niggas that Gucci misled. You know how many niggas that nigga misled for these years I had out here banging and doing all this street, selling drugs, killing niggas and doing all this crazy.
Look at Yayo's face. Yayo is not fair to this, man. I got to do that. What do I got over here? I got no kind of... I don't got nothing funny. God damn it. I gotta get my sound effects up, man. I got this. Yayo. Yes, that's a good one. This is how Yayo feeling right now.
And now he a rat, now he a civilian because his niggas ain't around. Get the out of here, man. Gucci a sucker. There was some suckers. And ain't no excuse for his girl now. His niggas ain't around. Now he was out here having niggas going crazy. He went in that record. His girl ain't write that record for him. His girl ain't write that record for him.
Look, brother.
His girl ain't. She might have. His girl ain't write that record for him.
You gotta let me talk, brother. You gotta let me.
You've been talking. You gotta let me talk. I'm talking. I'm getting my point out right now. You was just talking. However I'm expressing myself, I'm expressing it, brother. Let me talk though, my nigga. You just talk for 10 minutes straight. It's my turn. I'm telling you.
I wasn't
Gucci
cutting you
did?
that.
I'm
Go
telling you
ahead,
the
tell
shit that
Gucci. You
Gucci
ain't gotta
did.
yell.
I'm telling you
Oh,
Gucci did, nigga.
I don't
With some
condone
suckers.
either,
And you
nigga.
trying to tell me something?
I'm
Keisha
telling
was
you.
in his head. I don't give a f about
No,
that.
I'm
All
telling
I'm trying
you.
to say is that nigga had niggas out here wailing for years.
Okay,
that
yeah.
nigga did
Just
sucker
said I
shit,
agree
nigga.
with you,
That's
nigga.
it.
Calm down. Why
Sucker
you
shit.
screaming in the camera right now?
I
Calm
want
down.
to scream in the camera. I'm talking. I don't have to calm down. I'm getting my point across. You talk a lot now. I'm talking, and I'm letting.
I've been telling my mom, I'll be talking, I'll be meaning what I say, I'll be passionate. She be trying to get me to calm down. And I tell you, sit there in front of the preacher, he be having veins popping out his neck, stumping his feet. He be sweating and screaming. You don't tell him to calm down. You be like, yeah, go ahead. You don't knock it off with that calm down bullshit.
People know how I feel about the Gucci
Imagine a career hype man talking about calm down
situation.
Okay,
and that's
ahead.
how I
I'm gonna
feel
let you
about
talk.
it.
Go ahead.
I don't feel there's no excuses. So I'm not going to sit up here and give you no scenario about Keisha and this and no. The nigga did some sucker. She don't write his lyrics. He went in that studio and laid them lyrics down himself. He wrote those bars and all that. It was some corny Gucci.
I
It was
agree.
some sucker.
I agree.
Free
I'm
Pooh
not.
Shiesty and Big
I'm
W,
not
man.
condoning nothing that.
Word.
I'm just telling you that.
Freedom niggas,
my
man.
point is, a lot of rappers are turning into civilians. Like I said,
And we
I'm
ain't
far.
respecting them
Listen,
niggas.
I'm far from a civilian, my
Thank
man.
you.
You know that. I've been through wars, nigga. More than half of these rappers in the game. Wars, nigga.
All right, so stop giving.
Wars.
Stop sounding like you giving.
No.
Yayo following up Uncle Murda's rant with his street resume is a guilty conscience alone because he knows what's going on, bro. Uncle, I've been in wars, murder. I've been in wars, murder. How could you say I'm defending Gucci, murder? Because you was defending Gucci. It's okay. We defending Gucci. You one of us, murder. Well,
we are not. I'm using this content to react to. I'm not defending Gucci. However, I am questioning all these fake ass internet whore people who just assume Gucci has done something wrong. I am curious as to what is Gucci Mane's actual responsibility to these damn ethics at this point in his life / career, especially when you're done the way you're done outside of the realm of trying to keep up with that element of life. You've moved way far on. You allowed someone from the element of life to experience this side of life with you, and then they bring that bullshit over here. I'm very curious as to what is his real obligation. I'm enjoying the conversation though.
Sorry, Yayo. You one of us, Yayo. You are one of the common sense brethren. You got common sense. Yo, why are street dudes so afraid to have common sense nowadays, yo? Why are they so terrified to make sense? Bro, you got common sense. Like, you are one of the smart ones who can look at a situation and say, clearly there's a difference between robbing somebody at a business meeting with an off-duty officer present and several business partners who just happen to be white from the suburbs who are from your label. There is clearly a difference between that and Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty going and doing a robbery together, and then Gucci Mane telling on Pooh Shiesty when they get caught. There's a clear and drastic difference.
What about Pooh Shiesty just sitting in the back seat and drawing down on Gucci Mane and peeling him and hopping out the back seat, and it's just them two? Is that a difference? I feel like that's a different scenario within itself.
Anybody who can't see it, you're just not smart, right? You're just delusional if you still think that's how the world works. But Yayo even like listing out his street resume. I've been through wars. Nah, that don't matter. Nobody who hears this clip is gonna hear Yayo talk about his street resume. Any street dude who's dumb enough to think what Gucci did is wrong is gonna hear this clip and say, damn, Yayo, you defending the rap, bro. Like, that street resume is not gonna change their mind, okay? This is just insane, man. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. What do y'all think?
Flacco know what time it is. Yayo know what time it is, man. I understand the controversy. I'm not going to act like it's a clear-cut decision that should have been made by Gucci one way or the other, man. I'm still trying to figure it out, man. The world is evolving. He ain't out here living no gangster shit. They trying to talk about what he did 20 years ago to dictate what he should do today. And that general premise, I definitely do not agree with.
Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
No, for real. Leave it on. Serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie.
Big Slice.
Big Slice.
Yes, yes.
All right, nigga. They call me Puto, cuz.
Right.
And that person, big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.